I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Aquí no.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Ah, ¿querés jugar así? Qué bigón.
Estamos grabando yo, bienvenidos a mi channel, Juaco Juega Fumado. Acá estamos en esta ocasión con Afrito, un fuerte aplauso. Ahora le voy a poner los sonidos después. A ver, esto está grabando, checking, sí, todo bien. Toma. Vamos a hacer un gameplay acá, un experimento social con el afro. Vamos a jugar en esta ocasión a la parábola de Stanley. ¿Estás listo, afro?
Reabren el manicomio.
Yo no te voy a decir nada. Hacé lo que te guíen.
Te iba a preguntar de qué se trataba, pero dije no, ¿para qué le voy a preguntar de qué se trata?
Es como hablábamos antes, libre albedrío, ¿viste?
O sea que puedo ser malvado.
Puedes ser malvado, si
voy a tratar de ser correcto.
A ver, voy a enchufar los auriculares, así escuchamos una...
Estoy mal en el flash. Voy comenzando la partida, todo el chiste.
No, calzate los auris.
Hola amigos de YouTube.
Yao.
El fin nunca es el fin. Buena, ¿eh? El fin nunca es el fin. Sí, nunca es el fin. Sí, cargando.
Vos exagerás mucho, afro, que esto de las reacciones, ¿viste?
Sí.
Lo que garpa es...
¡Oh, tío! ¡Hostia! Mucha sangre, tío. Da miedo, que no dé miedo, Vi el video de la moto y me dio miedo cagar, más o menos.
¿Sabes que yo no lo encontré?
No, mejor no lo busques, macho, te lo juro. No,
This is the story of a man
es la historia de un hombre llamado Stanley.
Estás escuchando, ¿no?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number
donde era el empleado
427.
420.
Employee number 427's job was
Se sentaba en el
simple.
escritorio
He sat at his desk in
y
room
tocaba
427
botoncito el tipo.
and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor at his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-winning, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Hola amigos de YouTube. Tic, tic, tic. Bueno, toco las cosas, voy por acá. Ja. Una maña. Mensaje de tu tía.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Eran todos civiles, seguro. Bueno, el Cobani. ¿Se abren las puertas sola o tengo que apretar botoncitos?
Algunas se abren con la E.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Se le cayó un café a alguien, loco. Stanley.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Muy gracioso. Stanley.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Qué puto que es, loco. No, a mí no me decía lo que tengo que hacer.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years
Está bien.
ago.
¿Para qué hablé de la concha de la Viviana? Era ardí. Abajo.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Entonces, ¿qué te pensás?
I
¿Que
realize
no
that
venía a mí a
investing
hablar de lo
your
que tengo que
trust
hacer?
in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this
¿Yo
time.
quién soy o qué?
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley.
¿Ese
Someone
con
you've
sangre?
forgotten about.
No, no,
Please,
no.
stop trying to
Es lo
make
que tiene
every
este
decision
punto
by
que está hablando
yourself.
acá.
Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
O el peor cuarto de este video. Bueno, no tengo muchas cosas para hacer. ¡Al infrito! Mira.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Dale, más bien que ponga una rápida, guacho. Hola. Usted se comunicó con personal.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven.
El pan dulce que te va a
All
romper.
right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Ay, la puta está
Gotcha.
gracioso,
Oh,
vos.
come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
¿A que no?
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Ah, ¿querés jugar así? Qué bigón.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
5, 4, 4.27.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Y. Bueno.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly
Yo
what
soy
he's
Stanley,
told
loco,
to
qué mal.
do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice.
Claro.
It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Hola, nena.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the
Ay, la
real one.
adrenalina ahora.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop.
No.
Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
No voy a apretar, No voy a apretar, no te voy a dar el gusto. Voy a apretar todo menos la E. A ver cómo te queda el ojo. Bobo. Bueno.
You see? Can he just not hear me?
Y lo hice solo
How can
porque
I tell
vos no
him
me
in a way
dejaste
that he'll
opción,
understand
boludo.
that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Con un espejo.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see.
Tal vez.
Maybe this time. And I tried again.
Por favor,
And
muere.
Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
¿Qué carajo? Gané.
Siempre arrancás desde el principio.
¿Qué morí?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Qué
What could it
maldito.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Qué bronco.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ay, no le quiero hacer caso.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. What? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
¿Por qué no? Ay. Ay. Maldito bastardo.
But Stanley didn't want to
No,
go
no.
back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly, oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Vale, papá.
Let's see, we went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Vamos. Bue.
No, 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 no. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay then, it's an adventure. Come, Stanley, let's find the story.
No, claramente ahí no, ahí tampoco, acá. No, esto es lo mismo. Esa ya sé que no, esta. Hace todo lo mismo. ¿Ves? Piensa que soy soquete. Ay, pero si paso me cierra la...
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Ah, qué pelotudo que sos, bocho.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
4:20. What?
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Vamos a empezar de nuevo, por favor. Ay, gracias, che.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Bueno. Ahí vamos,
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!